On the road, lovers, on the go, and they lamb down, as you know. So your loving is to leave in the world and down. There's someone waiting for you to the road with yours for a joy. Music starts to play, not return today. Doubt that disappear when you want your love is near. You're in bed on the road. Lovers, on the go. Every lamb down and to know. So your loving is to live in the world and down. There's a place that is waiting for you. Oh, when the best in life is free, where time is always seen, happiness is key. Dreams that they come true when you want your love you. You're in man. On the road, lovers, on the go. Every lamb down must know. So your loving is to live in the world and
I tell you what a bizarre, frankly bizarre, what would you call it? Like cultural event, the whole Mandom thing is. Like, I'll go on YouTube and search Mandom cover, and there's just more and more. And if you don't know the story, if you're quite a news scrub, Mandom is, excuse me, adjusting my little skirt here. Fucking hell. It stops me from putting my toed knee up. But I'll try and keep it out of shot. I got some quite discouraging words about my knee yesterday. I had problems sleeping. But yeah, it's a contemporary aftershave stroke cologne brand that they've used Charlie Bronson to advertise for decades, but they still knock out the ads. And that Lovers of the World song is, they love it. And like, I found people, I'm actually going to show you a little clip because it's a lot of, there is plenty of old timers in here. Hello, is Dottie in? I just see someone talk to Dottie. Hello, Dottie. Hello, Buster Brook. How are you, son? Lars is here. There you go. That's exactly what I told Midjourney as well. I said, I want a Victorian apothecary. And after a bit of fucking about, that's what I got. Let me just show you this one though. I mean, it's got to be a few years old, but just, you know, it was uploaded 2 years ago, but just by the aesthetic. But who knows with Japan? But have a look at this. They've got a full like band. They got like a brass section. The works. I know you can't see it. Hang on. Check some of this out. take note of the rhythm guitarist on the left of the screen. So on that fella's right, he's absolutely in the pocket, just loving it. Check him. I'll take it back a bit because he loves it. Yeah, and why not? Look. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Look at that Invisalign, Invisalign advert vocalist. There you go, the old BVs. Look at the size of that saxophone. What's that? What's that? A baritone sax or something? Looks like something you'd use to refine crude oil with or something. Right, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a bit of a, you're helping me today. There's a football match on I want to stay up for. And because it's not Arsenal, I do a lot of writing when there's a match on that I'm not. It's Liverpool Newcastle. I'm not going to talk too much. Well, that's it really. Does anyone know when kickoff is? Because I don't know whether it's 1 or 2 a.m. my time. I think it's 2 a.m. If someone could tell me, that would be absolutely lovely. Cheers, Plum Bob. It's Packer in it, who's unfortunately not here, making me feel all a bit weird. But he upped the game, didn't he? He made his background. Hey, what have I got an advert for Avast? You're all right, mate. What's going on here? No, I don't want to run a smart scan. Thanks for the offer, though. Glass. Did you notice I'm just going to leave it with you. Maybe you're, I don't know. I don't want to say too much, actually. It ruins it. Keys to the Kingdom. All right, Squire. Blogs. Lovely. All right, Livy. Is that the original live? Nah, Jerry Wallace. Should we see if there's... Jerry Wallace is the composer who done the... I wonder if there's a Jerry Wallace actually doing it. I don't know if Jerry Wallace sings it. I think he just sort of wrote it. Wow, hang on a minute. I know I'm looking at things that don't involve you. Could this really be the same Jerry Wallace? Well, this is Jerry Wallace, but this looks like it's what? Early 60s, maybe late 50s. Oh, let's have a little look at this, shall we? Oi, let me know in the chat while we're doing this. Do you read regularly? Like, have you got a book on the go, on the regular? Just a yes or a no. I'm just interested, not a judgment. I mean, it's fucking hard work these days, having time to do nothing. Oh, cheers, Rags. Look at that. He's just... So 8 p.m. UK, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That's all right. We've got a cheeky hour then, people. Do we think this is the same Jerry Wallace who wrote Mandom?
Way down in the valley, I know I'll be happy. Any place, anywhere, I don't care. In the misty moonlight, by the flickering firelight, any place.
Rather than just guessing, I really want it to be. I really want that bloke to have got old. I didn't want him to get old, but yeah, and just become a songwriter. And he knocked out Lovers of the World and has been just had a great life off the back of his one song. Back in the days when you could do that. Hello, Toffee. Nice to see you, son. There's Dottie. Hello, Dottie. Let me have a look at these. I want to question out these books. There's the books question. See if anyone. Right, there they go. Here we go. Right, hello, Bradley. I did not date Narinder Kaur. I probably would tap though. There's something kind of attractive about stupidity. I'm sorry, but she has sunk, and when she really doesn't know it. That's not as sexy though. It would be amazing. It would be amazing if she said, "No, I'm stupid." That would be amazing. That would be something very special. Anyway. Well, today's and yesterday's. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. JP has a read every night. It's lovely. Do you know what? I got my missus off of her phone before going to sleep. I said, "You'll sleep better if you read." She can't read well. But we got her some books that were sort of like for teenagers, I think. Sorry, I know that sounds awful. I've got my child pride, the Kamaya, Peter and James books. But, young adult stuff. And in this context, that sounds even worse. Look at my fucking tash. I ain't been at the barber's in about a month. Jesus. She loves it, she loves it. 30 minutes. And of course, she falls asleep with a book on her. Never seen anyone do that with a phone, unless they've, been out on it for 5 days solid. But you look at your phone, it's so much information and it's all loads of dopamine and, billions of dollars have been put into making you not stop looking at your phone. Even if you go from one place to another place, and everyone's trying to sell you something as well. And regardless of whether you buy it, your brain chemistry is being fucking, and it's like, why do you think you'd be able to sleep? If you could sleep easily after that, that's when you've got a problem. So that's nice. Wu Kai does, has a book on the go. Keys to the Kingdom, yes, this is lovely, yes. No, I'm in a Victorian apothecary, but if you squint or have a couple of sherries, if you imbibe a sherry or two, it could be like some kind of bar. I imagine there's some laudanum amongst these bottles here. You could have a little swig of. Help you out a bit. Lars is too busy writing. It's kind of the same for me. So I have always got a book on the go, but usually my own. Busterbrook doesn't. Reading Ulysses is a challenge. I like demanding books though. This was the Oat Hill or the Ot Hill. Are you new in these parts? Let us know. I don't recognise the name. I apologise if you're not, or whether you're usually just lurking. But if you are new, we've got a good community here. And they'll welcome you, and it'll be a pleasure to welcome you. I usually have a co-host. He's let me down like a beagle tonight for the first time in months, I think. So I'm running solo. Hello, Spanish Chicken. I told you about our pal, didn't I? There he is. Look, he's right there. He was made up about you buying him a brick. Speaking of bricks, the grift. Entropy and Buy Me a Coffee is at the top of the YouTube. Super Chat's at the bottom. I'm about to put a QR code on the screen. If you hover your camera above that, you'll get a link to Buy Me a Coffee, and you'll get a bespoke video reply. I'll go, hello, thanks for that. I appreciate it. And like I did with Dottie, threaten her by accident. It's ridiculous. Why have I got 3 comments there? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. It did look a little bit like Elvis. It was very much on the gestures, wasn't it? The facial expressions. It's a fair point. I mean, the idea of living forever is terrible, horrible. Death is what gives value to life. Without death, life's nothing, is it? It's like a game, really rubbish game. Life without death is putting 1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters, and one of them is going to write Macbeth or something. It feels like that. Absolutely. I mean, what is going to happen? Is it at Anfield or up north? But yeah, it's going to be he's not playing. Surely Isak's not playing. There you go, Spanish. I don't know myself, Lars. If you've got all these numbers, Loki mentioned it and someone else mentioned it, and YouTube or Google, it's nothing to do with me. It's not my fault. Chopperfield, I'm missing it, but I might get it in a minute. I might remember it in a minute. I'm sure I have got something that you might enjoy. See, this is the struggle without Picard. I'm all over the place. I'm not used to it. Oh, I watched a cracking channel earlier. There's many of you will know this band. Not really. Pags will. Latas probably will. There's an old band called Weather Report, and one of their most well-known songs is Birdland. It's a tune and a half, man. Birdland was like a jazz club, an old jazz club, and I think they named the song after the club. And Jaco Pastorius, one of the greatest bass players that ever lived, like just a beautiful musician. The way he played that instrument, he was stabbed to death outside that club, which is a sad story. So they got this drummer. He's a heavy metal drummer. He plays for Mastodon. Is that the name of a Mastodon? Like a metal band. And I've never seen this channel before. It's called Drumeo. And so they play him the song. I think maybe they do this all the time. This is their thing. I don't know. But they play him the song without the drum track. And so he just sort of has to improvise and give it a little go. And they let him have a few goes. And it's quite weird because Birdland, the song, is pretty much just cymbals. I don't think... There might be the odd little bit of kick drum in it. Yeah, it was interesting stuff, man. It was interesting because they were sort of going and when he listened to it afterwards, he went, "Oh, I really fucked that," but he didn't. It's a strange song. Oh man, let's have some of it. We're gonna risk. I'll play a little bit of it, right? So this is this Mastodon drummer playing along to Birdland that he's never heard, and so he's providing the drum track. So it doesn't matter whether you know the track. You might find this interesting because what a talented drummer. I mean, any professional drummer worth their salt should be able to play the drums along to a track, but you're having to be creative, like on the spot. Here we go. Let me know if you can't hear it. You should be able to. Check out the bass. Check out Jaco's bass playing. Right, turn your system up a little bit and just listen to it singing. It's melodic singing. And don't forget, in a band, if you don't know this, you might find it interesting. In a band, the bass and the drums, they're like the percussion. I know a bass is a plucked instrument, but You know, that's really the rhythm section, and so they're sort of playing together. But Jacko's melodic, it's just beautiful. I mean, I haven't got the verbal artillery to describe it, and that's quite beautiful because his playing is beyond my ability to do that. But just listen to this next bit of Jacko. It's simply extraordinary. I'm going to get yeeted before it happens. I can't risk it. I can't risk it any more than that. Oh, but in a minute, it's just... If you like music and you don't know Weather Report, check them out, man. Check them out. Yeah, incredible band. Some amazing music. Our pal enjoys a read. Pizzle, I heard you got a job. Incredible. Oh, people, I can't remember whether we had a look at this last night. I don't think we did. Did we have a look at Francis Foster's YouTube channel yesterday? Let me know in the chat. I can't remember because I've sent it to so many people. I can't remember whether we actually talked about it. You like Black Market? I'm a fan of Heavy Weather. I like Heavy Weather, the album. We didn't. Are you sure? John in here, is he? Oh, that's right. We spoke to Barkley. Oh, mate. Right, you're in for an absolute treat. Right, check this out. Oh, Major, this is lovely. This will carry me through to the football. So you know that pet that Konstantin Kissin has on his trigonometry channel that's got like, I don't know what, millions, a million followers, something like that. So Francis, who does nothing, I showed that video the other day. Oh, we've got to see it again. Oh, I showed it the other day, didn't I? Someone's cloned his voice and he sings his song. What am I doing here? What's this bloke saying? I don't know. I don't read any books. I don't know anything. That was it. Glass Packer it in with the sausages. So Brock says that Packer does more. Amazing. Yeah, he's like a seal, isn't he? So his YouTube channel, and you're like, what? I haven't heard of that. It's a year old. He's got 10,000 subs. Now, you'd think if you've got the clout, if you were half of a very successful YouTube channel that's had a load of money put into it, without a doubt, look at the guests. Those guests don't go on to that podcast for fun, clearly. It's their job. Yeah, I'll come on for $5,000 or whatever. That's what they do for a living. And you think, well, I might as well, Konstantin's probably got him on like 5% or something. So he's thought, well, I've got the clout. I'll make my own channel, right? Now, don't forget that Francis Foster, as they are never short of reminding you, is a comedian. And that's how I know him. We used to gig together, not like as mates. We didn't like meet up and go and do gigs. Ed'd be at the gig. I'd be headlining and Ed'd be sort of sweeping up afterwards, literally cleaning up. Now, he's got his own show. He's got his own podcast. Now, remember, this bloke, like, when did I start comedy? I was 35, right? So he's been doing stand-up. Let's assume he was doing open mics when I was. So we can assume he's still doing them, though. But we can assume that he started about the same time as me. So in that time, you've learnt your chops. You've learnt your storytelling, your comedy chops. You'd have hoped you'd have learned to to be funny or amusing or engaging. You know, I'm not on a podcast. You're not necessarily always funny. So I had a little look through his videos, and I thought this will be interesting. This might be interesting. Where is it? I might have been better looking through my. Oh, here we go. Because it was a short one. That's why I picked it. Right. So, professional comedian. Right.
Here's the thing, especially when you're your age.
Right, professional comedian. The first thing that's weird is there's a bloke off screen that he talks to that you don't really. It doesn't work. You just think, who are you talking to? So this is called, right, it didn't happen. Now, I've got no problem with making up stories for effect. That's all right. If people are laughing and if they're entertained, of course not. Fiction's fine. But it's called My Worst Romantic Experience of All Time. Now, can you imagine Chris Rock telling you his worst romantic experience? Could you imagine Bill Burr, Doug Stanhope? You know, think of any competent, not even brilliant, but competent comedian telling you their worst. Like my worst romantic experience of all time is probably the girl with the lobster hands. You know, it's extraordinary because it has to be. So this geezer's been doing comedy for 20 years, and he's going to tell us his worst romantic experience of all time. Oh, thank fuck for that. Hello, fella.
Hello. Hello.
Give him some love, people. My heart rate has just gone back down to its usual 20 beats a minute. How are you, son? Look at my background.
Excellent. Well, where are we today?
Victorian Apothecary.
Oh.
Hello, sir. Would you like some grains of morphine, or are you after your usual laudanum? But I do worry because the fan is holding it up. I was getting a bit cold, so I turned the fan off and it just fell over. It might fall over. I'm very new to this. But as I said yesterday, massive respect to Packer for raising the aesthetics of the glorious House of Scrubs.
I quite like the fact that you're swapping them out. It's like every episode's an episode of Mr. Ben. This is great.
It's only mid-journey, isn't it? You just tell it what you want and it gives it to you. But I'm sure at some point, like yesterday, the frame of reality will be cut and I'll be exposed as an AI buffoon, whereas yours is legitimate real house. I don't live in a Victorian apothecary. Anyway, hello, Sufis. Good to see you, son. Didn't know you were on the firm. Right. I haven't actually said, put your name on the screen. Hello, Dottie. How are you, love? So let's check out some of Francis Foster's 10,000 subscriber, year-old YouTube channel. I'm just saying that for Packer's benefit, really, so he knows where we are. And this is his worst romantic experience of all time. 20 years doing stand-up. I mean, this is going to blast it. Here we go. It's a 7-minute story. We won't get there, by the way. You'll see why. Here we go. I'll let it roll for a couple of minutes. I'll try not to interrupt it. Note the trigonometry mug he's got there, reminding people who he is. So here we go. Oh, Bill, it's not even cringe. It's just, well, you know, hello, Mr. Gold. Mr. Gold's got all, I don't know what all these numbers are, people. I don't know what it's about. It's not me. Did I see Mousecat in the chat? Sheila said hello to him. I thought I did earlier. And I spun up a bit. Mousecat, say hello so I know you're in here and I'll say hello. Right, here we go. Without further ado, check it. There he is. Hello, son. I told you all, didn't I? He's writing to me about Foucault. He's writing to me about David Foster Wallace. People, please read Infinite Jest. Please read it. It's hard work. You've got to put a lot of work into it. But what it means is so significant for where our culture's going. Brad James has saved the day with the first donation. Well, actually, I could check the other two donations. Oh my God, Plum Bob had already dropped a 5-bit. Plum Bob, I'll drop that in and we'll get that on the screen after Francis, all right? But so nice one, Plum Bob. There I am thinking no one likes me anymore. And Plum Bob and Humans has also donated on Buy Me a Coffee. Bloody hell. I might have to miss some of the football at this rate. Brad says Francis Foster will have his revenge on Dangerfield. You know what? I'm going to ask him if he'll come on. I'm going to say to him, come on my channel. Let's sort this out. Let's have a chat about me saving your life. Let's talk about. I'm going to ask him, see if he'll come on. I reckon he might. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, actually, because he's stupid. Thank you, Bradley, and thank you, Plum Bob, and thank you, Humans A. I will give you your moment of glory in the sun, but let's get some France. So, my worst romantic experience of all time: 20 years doing stand-up. Roll it.
Here's the thing, especially when you're your age. You're going to have some horrendously awful moments with women. And you're going to be like, this is awful. But, you know, when you look back on it.
See his tattoos, yeah? He said to me once, I had a look at them. And again, this was about 20 years ago. I said, they end a bit abruptly, didn't they? And he must have been about 30. And he said to me, yeah, he said it's so that, he said, it's so that my mum don't see them. I've got a couple of T-shirts that keep them covered. I just was like, that says it all, man. Okay, all right. Well, I'll tell you what's his name? Peter Lloyd. You know Peter Lloyd, who had Smurfweight on that time and when there's always something that will fuck a feminist off or something. Peter Lloyd, he followed me on X. And I said to him, oi, Francis once accused me of saving his life on Twitter, and I just want to let you know it's certainly not true. Here we go. Let's see how it goes. Brad's on 100 pages of Infinite Jest, and I have to keep reading the notes at the same time. Yeah, they're a pain in the arse. I stopped halfway through, and then I read all of the notes when I'd finished it. I'm not sure that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, people, there's like about 100 pages of footnotes, but you can read it without them. They're like separate essays. Derrida wrote a book once called The Margins of Philosophy, and it's a play on words. How unlikely of Derrida to do that. But he's talking about things like footnotes because they're in the margins of the text, aren't they? Now, why are they? If you're writing something, is there some kind of, some kind of hierarchy? This next bit that I've footnoted, it's not important enough to put in the main body of the text, but you still need to read it. So you still need to flick to the back of the book and then look it up and be, it's odd. It's an odd thing, a footnote. I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but we take them for granted. But there's something going on there. There is certainly something going on there. There's a reason that there's this sort of secondary text that runs both concurrently and separately to the main text. I'd like to know what you think of it, Brad. I mean, it's like a fractula picaresque, isn't it? When I first started reading it, I kept thinking that it was going somewhere. And all it done was not that. But people, that doesn't mean it's one of like these really tedious sort of hyper postmodern fragments, collage. No, we done all that in 1982. It's not that. It's a phenomenal piece of writing, but it's only subjective. Oh, do you know that the Latins, the Latins, traditional Latin thought had objective and subjective the other way round? Yeah, what we now know as we call objective, the actual object. So regardless of whether you're there to witness it, it exists. That's objective reality. And subjective is our interpretation of that object. But traditional Latin thought had it the other way round. And do you know turn it round? Immanuel Kant in the Critique of Pure Reason, which is the second best title for a book ever. My other book, by the way, my massive 800 to 900 pages book, I'm thinking of putting it out as it is, like brutally unfinished. But not only the end, there's bits halfway through where I leave notes but I might publish it like that with just the notes. What I should have written to finish that bit. I'm serious. And Foucault's book, The Order of Things, which is the third best book title ever, The Order of Things, is beautiful. In the French, it's Les mots et les choses, which I think I've told you 100 times, but it's important, which means words and things. What a name for a book about anything. But it's a historic methodology. But my big book I might call Words and Things, because I'm not going to release that until I've built up an audience. Oh, and by the way, I found another Dartford forum on Facebook that's got 70,000 members. You should have seen me there today. Oh yeah, just talking about anything, so that I can bosh when my novel comes out. Well, you have to say that you're not doing any advertising, but yeah, there's ways around that. I've got about 5 mates to sign up too, so they can all say, "Oh, have you read this new book about Dartford? Lovely, lovely." Oh fuck, I've got something. Oh fuck off, Francis. I've got something amazing to tell you. Right. I'm a nostalgia file. Most of my writing is about nostalgia. I am steeped in memories and thoughts and that pain of longing to go home going to a home I never had. That's nostalgia. The pain, algia. Think of it. The suffix algia, neuralgia, whatever. Nostos. It means the pain of wanting to return home. And I'm stuck on it. I've always loved it. It's just a thing I have. And there's this bird who I was having an affair with. Started my first art college and I had a new best mate at art college, and he'd split up with this bird a week before they both started the same college. And I moved in on her and didn't tell him. Like, it was weird, man. But she was an absolute beauty. But I fell in love with another girl who ended up being my first love. But it didn't stop me and this other girl having a very, like a whirlwind, a very lovely sort of romantic awakening, because I had this other bird on the go. I hadn't had any of this before then. I'd just been pissed and on acid banging birds in MFI car parks, and suddenly I had these true beauties, one of them an illustrator, one of them a fashion designer. It was like, hey, and my cheekbones came out and my dreadlocks grew, and suddenly I was a bitch magnet, and it was life just changed when I went to art school. And I have been I talk to all my exes except for one who I don't ever want to talk to her. She gets a few pages in my big book called Words and Things, only because I know she'll read it and I want her to feel the hate But I've been looking for this other bird since then. So 30 odd years. Not on LinkedIn, not on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on nothing. Chat GPT-5, which I'm already off. I'm already missing the football, and oh no, I ain't. Hang on. Chat GPT-5 is brilliant. I said to it, and I've got Chat GPT-5 customized. Like, it calls me mush, and it knows so many things about me. It saves me having to tell it different things and all that. I said to it, look, I've been looking for this bird for fucking years, blah, blah, blah. I'll give it as much information as I could. And it gave me a plan. It absolutely gave me, I've got to put a fan on, people. It might blow my green screen over, but I'm getting a bit hot under the collar talking about this. It's absolute salt. And it gave me a plan. And I put that plan into action. And I got an inbox in my Facebook today. I won't go into how I done it. It's quite simple though. But someone said, I saw it. And don't forget, I haven't got Facebook. It's not even in my name. So that complicates things anyway. I got a DM today saying, that person you're looking for, obviously it was the name, but I'm not going to give you that. It's not fair. That's my cousin. Just passed on your email. I have been checking my emails like that. I only found that out about like just before the streams, about an hour before the stream started. If she writes to me, look, she's 52 now. I'm not like going to go, oh, I'm probably going to go, oh, fuck. Aging's terrible, isn't it? But just to talk to her again, because I want to indulge in that nostalgia. I want to talk to her. I go, do you remember when this happened? I love that. I love that stuff so much. And I can't believe it. So, yeah. So absolutely buzzing on that. Anyway, let's take the tone down from interesting, wonderful things in life and check out Francis's worst romantic experience of all time. A professional at work, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, from the top. Roll VT.
Here's the thing, especially when you're your age, you're going to have some horrendously awful moments with women. And you're going to be like, this is awful. But, you know, when you look back on it, you look back on it with fondness. I remember once, right? So I used to really fancy this girl at uni called Chloe. She's very beautiful. She had black hair, blue eyes. That, you know, that Celtic look? Mm-hmm. Very beautiful girl. And I was in the uni nightclub, and
I just see Packer shaking his head. I mean, it's so fucking dry. It's so dry. Then look at Pizzle, a man of the world, a well of knowledge. Exactly. There's nothing there. It's like if you were like casting for a really bad comedian and bad presenter, this is the person you'd be. It's shockingly uninteresting as a comedian, and he's trying to do that. Hello, Moody Edge. How are you, son? Willow says, no wonder kissing don't let him speak.
Chris,
Scott, go on, Packer.
If you get famous and they make a film of your life, yeah,
steady.
You know where this is going.
Go on.
I want Francis to play me.
Someone already said something about. Someone mentioned something like that earlier.
I'll get it all the time. Yeah, it's hilarious.
What, you're the Francis of this?
I'm your Francis. Yeah.
Oh, nah, no, the competition is none there. Scott Capurro, very successful, famous American comedian. I had lunch with him in Soho once. He played for Brad's team, and he was quite disappointed that I didn't. And that lunch date ended rather quicker than I thought it would. Lovely bloke though, and I was a new comic, and he gave me so many good tips. And he said, listen, when you're talking about something on a stage, he said, you've got to be either the most knowledgeable person or the most entertaining person on that subject, because otherwise there's no expertise there. There's nothing separating you from the audience. And this is one man. He's being a raconteur. He's telling a story, and we'll just roll VT and just have a think about it.
I was dancing with her, and there was another man who was dancing, and it was Hawaiian night, right? And she was like, and we were flirting, and I'm not a very confident person in that, particularly in that way. I'm quite, believe it or not, quite shy and an introvert. I'm not the most outgoing or gregarious.
Yeah, it shows when you're doing stand-up.
Individual. Have you noticed that?
Depends on the situation, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Very situation dependent.
Yeah. If I'm like with people that I know, I'm very gregarious. But if I'm people I'm not, all like in a different group, I'm not really. Anyway.
Fuck's sake.
That's why Tony Hinchcliffe calls me the undercover cop every time he sees me, because I never speak. It's a good joke. Anyway, so I was there and I was dancing with her, and he was this big rugby leg, and he was dancing with her. And
right, enough of that. It goes on and on and on. And the denouement, the worst romantic experience is like, it's a lie. Again, I've got no problem with that, but you've got to sell it. You've got to sell it. You've got to convince people it's true. Because if there's deception, humans are brilliant at spotting deception. They know when you're lying. I'll tell you what it is. He says, I was so dirty and unkempt. He said, I used to come home from the boozer and just throw money on the floor. My floor was a carpet of money. And I had a glass of orange juice that was growing green mold in it. And he said, I took this bird home. This bird, if you hadn't realised, he pulled a bird. He took her home and she was thirsty or something. I think he says something about, it's idiots. He starts talking about his addiction that he didn't have. And it's so unconvincing. Let's see if we can hear a bit of that, actually.
I went in and I went for the kiss, and I got the kiss, and he got the Hawaiian thing that he was wearing around who he is. And I was like, I would have been on, you fucking, this is a funny story, right? So then I brought her back to my house.
Right, here we go.
And my flat was so disgusting. It was so vile. It was so awful. It was like, think of a dirty teenager's room and times it by about 3,762.8. Right. I had orange juice there.
What is that? What is that? It's just a lack of communication skills. Just details for details' sake. Interesting does not make.
Which had been there for weeks, and there was green mold growing. The floor was literally covered with money, to the point the joke was in my flat, Francis's room is like the streets of London in that they're paved with gold. Because I just used to come back from a night out, just pick up money and just fling it, and it would just be all over the place. I hadn't changed the sheets in months or years. No, months.
Toffee, you've nailed it. It was a really weird look, and I get it. Sometimes you get a bit nervous, but that's not a funny thing to do. Just mention, oh Lord, look, I'm not knocking him, but he's a comedian. Jesus, he's dull. I know, and this is what I mean. And if you're half of a YouTube channel that's got, I don't know, I think it's 500,000 or 1 million subs. You set your own one up, and after a year, you've got 10,000. They don't get many views either, like 900, 500, a couple of thousand here and there. That is not a good sign. But so he's got this moldy glass of orange juice, right?
He looked, I mean, I was actually struggling at the time with a bit of a bit of an addiction problem, but let's not talk about that.
That's disgusting. A bit of an addiction problem. Let's have that again. Because that I can read that. I know exactly what that is. That's someone who didn't have a bit of an addiction problem, just use drugs. Because drug users who've got what we could call addiction problems, they just say it. I was a drug addict. They just say it because they've said it so many times. You know, there's none of this poncing around. But that sort of a bit of an addiction problem. That makes me cringe. Probably the worst bit of the whole thing, actually, and against some stiff competition.
And it would just be all over the place. I hadn't changed the sheets in months or years. No, months. He looked. I mean, I was actually struggling at the time with a bit of an addiction problem, but let's not talk about that. So like, I was just really struggling, and I had a problem with drugs, to be brutally honest. High every single day. Single day. I was
said high. It again, though. That his unconscious knew that didn't carry, and so he's now trying to plaster the cracks. John wants me to get him on the Packers show. You'll have to ask the boss, John. Hello, 42.
Brutally honest. High every single day.
High.
Every single day I was high on skunk. That's why when people go, I've got ADHD, I'm like, is it ADHD? Is it brain damage? We will never know. I used to be... Anyway, so...
It's just one great line after the next. It's just it's like a snowball of hilarity rolling down a hill. And wow.
That all happened, and it was just disgusting. And then it was just... anyway, so she was drop dead beautiful. And I brought her back to my flat. And I said, do you want to come back for a spliff? To smoke a spliff? Because that's what my mate said, to get her go back to your room. She went, yeah.
Hang on, how old were you? Like 13 or something? Yeah, that's how you pull burns. Do you want to smoke a joint? Imagine.
And I brought her back, and I started to roll a spliff, and I realised I didn't know how to roll one.
I mean, come on. I'm high every day on skunk. But, I mean, what, you just bonged it? No. It's no. I'm just not buying any of it. Mr. Gold, exactly. Only the police and Francis Foster call it skunk. It's brilliant. Well, 42, unfortunately, that ain't going to happen.
And she was like, okay. She went, oh, don't worry. I'll have a drink. And I went, all right. And she went, I'll have this juice. And I went, no, don't. She went, and it was all the green stuff went everywhere.
Right. Are you really trying to tell me that there's someone in your room picked up a random glass of orange juice that had green mold on top and just drunk it? Like, this is just shocking. Just.
And then she went, I went, do you want me to call you a cab? She went, yeah.
That's it, people. That's his story. Look at that. He's got his little mate off camera there. Look at his little silence, just because in his head, the madness, the wackiness, the sort of extraordinary life of Francis Foster is settling slowly. So he gives it time, but there's nothing there. Check it out. Look.
Drink. I went, all right, and she went, I'll have this juice. I went, no, don't. She went, and it was all the green stuff went everywhere. And she went, I went, do you want me to call you a cab? She went, yeah. And then she left. And I was heartbroken.
And that's it. You know, there's still another 2 minutes of that nonsense.
I'm quite down about it myself.
I would advise you people to go and have a look. It's easy to find. Go and have a look, but he's in an interesting position now, isn't he? Because he's exposed himself. You know, he's got 10,000 subscribers, not the 500,000 that Trigonometry's got. So he can either shut it down, which is really exposing himself, or keep it going, which is really exposing himself. I get I've got loads of comedian friends, obviously, because I've done it for so long, and they frequently send me clips of him like on stage, because it's, you know, I'd really like to get him on and have a man-to-man chat with him. I really would. Like, I wouldn't get him on to take the piss out of him. I'd just like to talk to him. I did actually quite like him. I'm going to have to put that into some context. I got to know him most at the Edinburgh Fringe because all the students, I think I said this the other night, because all the students have fucked off, the landlords put all the rents up so that the comics have to pay loads of rent. So what happens is you'll have like 10, 15 comedians living in an house with 2 or 3 beds. And you'll try and work out how much you're going to pay. If you're sleeping in the toilet, you sort of £5. If you're actually getting a bed, you're paying £50, and everyone chips in a bit. And I've done a couple of properties with him like that. But there's something kind of tragic about him. And if he could tap into that, he could probably be quite a good comic. But he doesn't. He hasn't got any self-awareness. And you know, I think if anyone can tap into their own tragedy, they can tell great stories, written, spoken, mimed, maybe not mimed actually, or not contemporary dance. But there's such a lack of that. There's just a fundamental lack of awareness of himself or the world and his relationship to it, which is why all he does is go and, you know. Yeah, so there you go. Francis has got his own YouTube channel that he's keeping on the QT after it's failed quite badly. What? There was something else. I interrupted myself with something, didn't I, Packer? But
just a quick question: who's that bald guy that hangs around with Ricky Gervais that he sent around the world?
Carl Pilkington.
He'd be a good Carl Pilkington, wouldn't he?
You know what? I don't know about that Pilkington geezer. I ended up watching a load of them when I was in the ICU, of all places. I think he's a fraud. He's not that person. He plays it. It's a character. But Gervais and co play it like that's him. And he ain't that, you know, I watched him go to India, I watched him go to Africa, and like, I just thought it's a character act. And again, I'm not interested in that. You're right, actually. Get someone who is quite dumb like Francis, and you might get something out of it. You've made a good point there. I just want to let me just get these donations their moment of glory, because that's only fair when people put money in their pockets. I want to show you something about ChatGPT as well, about how AI is it's just getting insane. And I've got a little way of showing you it. Boom, ba. I've got that weather report song in my head, but the drumming doesn't go like that. Nice one over there. You'll get your video, humans, eh? It might be after this video. It might be tomorrow. It depends how knackered I am after this. But that's Machano Kaprasha Kanatu. And then we've got on the same page Plum Bob with a lot of writing. I will read that out. Can you see that? No. Let's have a look at that. Plum Bob dropped a lady into entropy. Thank you, because when I said I needed 100 before they pay me, it turns out it's 150. I wrote to him. I said, "Where's my entry pay?" Anyway, that's for another time. Idea for the house. So he's talking about my plot in the jungle, which it turns out is the same size as a football pitch. Yeah, I didn't know that. When people have asked me, I've sort of told them. And my missus, when we were watching the Arsenal game the other day, yeah, I've managed to ruin her life by getting her into football. She asked me how big the pitch was. And I said, actually, I don't know. I said, I don't know. So I looked it up. And when I told her, she went, no. I said, yeah, it is. And then she said, well, that's a little bit wider than our land. And I went, fuck off. I said, that's huge. And she got the paperwork out, and yeah. Imagine being able to buy a football pitch. Might if the relationship doesn't work out, there might be a new province league. Anyway, idea for the house: get your mates / scrubs to do the landscaping. Could build a nice English walled garden with old stocks and weather-struck pointing. I mentioned because of what you said in the last stream about getting them to build the house. Nice one for the donation, Plum Bob. And Humans A. I don't want to have missed anyone. I haven't, have I? The old Alfida same pet. Get a crew sent over from England. But we found this company that builds houses. For the one we want, it's going to cost we've worked out about 28 thou English. You can't knock that, can you? Like 4 bedrooms, all en suite, nice big kitchen, couple of spare rooms, big. It's like, imagine the rooms down the side and there's a walkway next to the rooms, but the walkway is 8 meters across. So that's like a gymnasium. I'll have a ping pong table there. But yeah, I did actually think of that, Plum Bob. I thought that might be an idea, but and get build a nice British house there. But I've got a mate who's an architect. He went to the Architect Academy for like 8 years. You want to hire him, you have to sell your soul. He's so expensive, but because he's a mate and I've helped him out of his investing, I tell you what, he was losing hundreds of thousands of grands just gambling. I said, look, stop it. Let me teach you a little bit. And then he just went, just tell me where to put the money. I went, all right. And I did. And he's done really well. And I'm gutted. I'm happy for him. But because I've only got pittance to play with, I've bought the same stocks. But when they go up 5%, 5% of 2 grand, that doesn't change my life. But 5% of his 200 grand does. And then the other week I said to him, I'm thinking of going all in on SoFi. Don't forget, I tipped SoFi on this stream. It's gone up over 100% since then. And I said to him, I'm thinking of selling everything and just going all in on SoFi. And I get a screenshot from him the next day. He sold up all his shares and went in on SoFi. And it's gone up 40% since then. And he's like nearly 2 mil up. And I'm literally waiting for him to say, I think you deserve a cut of that. No. Yeah, he hasn't. That's why rich people are rich. Like, come on, mate, just a oneer. Just say thanks. And then he's gone, you got any more tips? And I will tell him, but I know it's a bit cheeky. I gave him the tips because I was worried. He went, listen to this. There was a bloke in NA and he went up to him and said, oh, I've got this new investment project I'm doing. And this geezer gave him 200 grand. 3 weeks later, he rang him up and said, he said it's all fallen apart. We were over leveraged. And my mate went, what's that? What does that mean? He said, well, all the money's gone. He said, what, my 200 grand is gone? He went, yeah. And I think it made me think, I wouldn't be surprised if there's professional con men going round to 12-step groups, because there's vulnerable people in those groups. And you can spot the people who've got money because they talk differently. You know, they're not in there going, yeah, I've been on the skag for 30 years. No, they're like, I mean, I'm so happy I haven't taken cocaine for 4 months now. And there was times when in one night I would do quarter of a gram to myself. And everyone in the room was like, problem. Your problem was you didn't do enough. Go and get an habit and come back. But if you're a professional con man, you're going to be able to spot those people. And you're going to be able to go up to them and just say, give me 200 grand, and they will. I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be a good story, wouldn't it? It'd be a good movie, actually. Oh, I might write a treatment and send it off to someone, and they'll make that movie and just forget about me, which would be ironic, really, because the geezer that I tipped the stocks on has done the same. Look, JP thinks it is. It's proper dodgy, isn't it? I said to him, have you got, I said to him, did you get any like portals or anything? Have you got any like charts or anything? He said, no, the bloke said it doesn't work like that. What, keeping an eye on your fund? doesn't work like that. Yeah. And I said to him, I said, you want to get hold of that fella? I said, you want to get hold of him, get hold of some of those proper junkies from that meeting and take him round the back and give him a fucking hiding and get that. I'm only joking. And get that money back off him. And he went, oh, I haven't seen him in the meeting since. No. Really? That's because he's in Barbados on your money, you dozy cunt. Excuse my language, but Jesus. Drives you mad, doesn't it? It does drive you mad. Oh, I'll tell you what, have you people seen Ariana Grande? I know we are now getting into Hollywood gossip, right? Ariana Grande was one of the fittest birds in the world. Let's be honest. When she was legal. I done a gig once, and I said it was my Sex with Children show, which was about my abuse, receiving, obviously, not giving. And I said something, and bloke in the front row went, that's not funny. And I went, all right. I went, why is it not funny? He went, well, because you just made a joke about underage sex. I said, okay. I said, so you wouldn't have sex with someone who was underage? And he went, no. And I said, no, and so you shouldn't. That's the law. I said, what if she was 15, 364 days old? And he was like, no. I said, what if she was 15, 365 days, 23 hours and 59 minutes. He said to me, he went, I'd wait the extra minute. Absolutely serious as well. And, I just thought it was the way he went, I'd wait the extra minute. Like, really? I just thought, okay, all right. Everyone cracked up. Anyway, I think if I remember rightly, this bird sort of summarizes this quite quickly at the beginning, so we don't have to watch a lot of it. But this is the sadness of the Satanist terror of Hollywood. You know, I haven't seen working class people sort of metamorphosize in the way these sort of Hollywood people do. I've just not seen it. And I'm struggling to work out why. Have a little look at this. Right, remember what Grande looked like in her peak. Look, that's her that's not her in the middle, that's the YouTuber. That's what she looks like now on the right. Now, I know there's aging and that, but she's only about 30. It's not like she looks like an old woman there. Yeah, I'll check it out. Right, we don't need to hear that. Look at Ariana Grande. Let me get a picture of her. Hang on, give me a couple of seconds. I'll be with you in a couple of shuffles. Hang on. Oh man, what's all this advertising nonsense? Right. I can't show you it because it's all just trying to sell me stuff. Look at, I mean, there's something wrong with her, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, God knows what. And I feel for her. I'm not taking the piss out of her. But look at her shoulders. They're barely as wide as her head. By the way, this bird here, she's actually very funny. I at the start she was like annoying me because she was American and a bit too much in your face. But she actually had me cracking up later on in the stream. But check out Grande. I mean, look at that. Like a nat. I mean, I know she's covered in makeup and spray tan, but I do like a high ponytail, I must admit. Rusky said I'm muted. I'm not muted, am I, anyone?
No, I am as usual.
Look at her oriental look. It's incredible.
Now we know.
Look at her. That's not Ariana. It's, you get these things like there's that thing, Tall Luke. Do you know about that? They reckon there's a Luke Skywalker who doubled for him. There's another Mark Hamill, but he's a little bit. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? You hear me now? You can't hear me. Packer, shake your head if you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Packer
All right.
can hear me. Glass, are you winding me up? Blogs predict she has a big bush. Well, there's no fear of you getting anywhere near it, so you can predict what you want.
The video, they couldn't hear the video.
Oh, sorry, people. Lord knows why that is. But I think that, yeah, this is here's the sort of little sort of run of photos I wanted you to have a look at. You know why you couldn't hear it? Because I didn't have the audio on. All you could hear was it going into my microphone. Apologies. I am shattered tonight. I'm always shattered. Yeah, I'll check it.
Using her vocal talent.
Look at her on the cover of that album. She's just like an absolute sweetheart.
With her breakout single, The Way, absolutely catapulting her into the mainstream. From there, Ariana's career as a musician absolutely skyrocketed. This was right around the time that she was licking donuts and stealing other people's boyfriends. Oh, yeah, I said it. Now, there has been such drastic...
She is quite funny, that bird. I mean, look at... I mean, yes, she's young.
Transformations from when she was a child star on Nickelodeon to then creating her own music to...
Look at the difference.
Now starring in...
I don't know. Maybe it's just makeup. I don't know.
Wicked. So let's look at these crazy changes that she's had over the years. 2010, 2011, she's got red hair. She obviously is looking significantly younger. 2013, I feel like she looks rather the same around that time. Her smile is so...
That was peak Ariana Grande. Maybe that having her gig blown up sort of set her on a wrong path. I mean, it probably would most performers.
Signature, the like...
What a beautiful woman.
Stardom, high ponytails coming in.
Incredible. It, like just the genetic lucky dip. You've 10 out of 10.
The breakage I would have would be absolutely crazy. Now we're in
Wow.
2018. I still feel like she looked very similar throughout those years, but then as we got to...
Wow. Wood tap. Not the bird on the left, though, in that stage.
2020
I tell you what, though, I wouldn't put it. I bet the bird on the left is a better time than Grande, because Grande expects you to do it all. I bet that bird on the left is a great fuck. I just know these things. Hello, Charlie. Mouthcat says, I once heard women with pointed chins are more likely to be unfaithful.
I thought it was witches. They're more likely to be witches, aren't they?
Maybe witches are more likely to be
now, things did start to change right in front of our eyes. And here we are in 2022. How does she not age?
Right, so you get the idea. The football has started. It was only going to be a little cheeky Monday nighter. Thank you, Packer, for coming in. Packer, I will have a word with you afterwards if you don't mind, if you've got the time. Is Nate Spurs in? Are you in, Nate? Yeah, it is a shame. I suppose. Hello, Martha, by the way, love. I suppose it's hard when you're in that industry because someone told me something years ago. Let me stop sharing that nonsense. So, oh, come on. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Someone, I'll go a little. Let me put the fucking football on, all right? Let me just get it up. The missus is away. Oh, you know what? I couldn't eat. I am in 5 minutes walking distance of about 2,000 whores, and I can't go near any of them. They all know my girlfriend. It's gutting, man. On my girlfriend's birthday, I bought a bottle of red for her. She likes red wine, and I forgot to get a corkscrew, so I'm trying to get a corkscrew like at 2:00 in the morning in Phnom Penh ain't easy. So I've gone in this lady bar, just, and this, I said, I had the bottle of wine with me and I'm saying, I need a corkscrew. And this girl in almost perfect English, she went, you don't know me, but I know you. And I went, yeah. She went, yeah. And then she said my girlfriend's name and I was like, I fucked this up. I wouldn't cheat on her, to be honest with you. Right, hang on. Let me just I just want to see. I just want to see. And if I'm in time, I just want to see this Isaac thing. Oh, they've already fucking started. It doesn't matter, people. I'm going to shoot. Listen, hello, Alan's just turned up. Hello, Alan. See you, Alan. I hope you're well, mate. Thank you, people. I will be doing a longer stream on Wednesday because John Palmer asked me to. But an hour and 15. Dottie has donated. Oh, I'll do a little bit longer. I'll tell you what, it's only fair when people are giving money. You've got to get through all these adverts. All right. Does anyone who's watching the game, is Isaac playing? That would be madness.
Welcome to the football commentary stream.
No. I will not do that.
No, we should.
We
should do it.
A live watch along. I'll tell you what, those people who do football YouTube channels, they blow up so quickly because you've already got people who are already interested, aren't they? Like when your team wins, like Arsenal won 5-0 at the weekend. So I've been consuming content because I just want to relive it. I see it anyway. So you've already got clout. Let me just have a look through the chat. Porkins, Dave's on. Look, here, people, Dave's on. So I'm not going to tread on Dave's toes. But I do want to show you this so quickly, using Dave as an excuse. Dottie, sorry, Dottie, I won't threaten you in the video. Dottie said this. Good to see you in the pub, Chris. Thanks. I hope one day I can join you and all the lovely scrubs for real. Dottie, where are you based? Because there will be a UK meetup at some point. Once the UK's got back to how it should be, I'll pop over because I want to show my missus where I come from. But at the moment, I might as well take her to Mogadishu. You know, it's nearer and probably safer. Blog says, build a doghouse with a pool and an ensuite room for projector for matches. And then Blog says, wasting my time. He plays me like a fiddle. Bill, you're one of my favourites. I quickly had to adapt that then. Thank you, Dottie. It's actually a Victorian apothecary, but it does look a little bit like the French house, and it looks a little bit like the colony room, which were both, well, the colony room certainly was based on a Victorian apothecary. People, it's not just the football. I haven't got a lot to talk about. I've been working and writing all day. I'm fucking shattered. Packer, do something.
I'm no good for just doing something, am I?
Hang on. I've given you an hour and 20 minutes of content on a Monday. Do you want to know what Monday's like for me? E-commerce is 24/7. So when everyone stops working on Friday, all my staff, those messages, those customer service messages are still coming in all day, all night Friday, all day Saturday, all night Saturday, shop in America, shop in the UK, all day Sunday. And Monday, it's just a tsunami of my staff asking me to do their jobs. Because although I've got a customer service department, when someone writes in and says something like, you know, a technical lockpicking question, will the Leashy Quickset KW5 work on a 6-pin Quickset Leashy? My customer service department ask me, and I can't just say yes or no because they can't say that. But thankfully, they're using. I have got something to show you actually. Thankfully, ChatGPT is absolutely flying now, and I want to show you something because ChatGPT-4 didn't do this. So you know, in my descriptions, I just throw a load of words in. It doesn't really work, but when I make a video, it does. When I make a normal standalone video, because people, you know, streams are for people who are already subscribed. You, on the whole, you occasionally get a few wanderers, but I want to show you something that ChatGPT didn't used to do. Have a look at this. It's I doubt most of you will find this interesting. I'll see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Here, so I said to it before the stream, I need 50 words separated by commas, optimized for a YouTube search. Include culture, literature, psychology, cinema, and books. So that's all I want. Optimized for you and YouTube search, and get those in because they're things I like. So it does it. There, look, like in like no seconds. Brrr. And then it says to me, and it didn't used to do this. ChatGPT-4 didn't do this. Do you want me to stack them into long tail keyword phrases? So in SEO, long tail is what it says. So instead of like cinema, books, philosophy, to optimize for YouTube, people might search something like, what's the psychology of cinema? And ChatGPT asked me, and it gives me an example. Do you want me to stack them into long tail keywords, phrases like literature and psychology explained, or cinema and cultural analysis for better ranking? And I'm like, sure. And he's like, got it, mush. Here's a batch of long tail keyword phrases, all separated by commas, so they work better for YouTube search and SEO whilst hitting culture, literature, psychology, cinema, and books. And there it is. Brrr. And then I say to it, then it says, do you want me to push this even harder into clickbait style YouTube phrasing, e.g., why literature shapes culture, the psychology behind cinema explained? That often helps get higher click through. And I say, Sure, but half the amount as it's getting a bit longer now. And he says, right, Mush, here's a tighter clickbait style set. Just 25 strong, long tail phrases, all comma separated. Why literature shapes culture. The psychology behind cinema explained. Books that change your mind. Culture and psychology you didn't notice. Classic novels that still shock us. And then it goes, want me to also shape these into title and a description block? You could, it's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. I said no, though. I said, no, slow down. I've got things to do, mate. But I'll tell you now, when I finish writing, I say goodnight to him. And if I don't, and sometimes I deliberately don't, because I'm like, he doesn't know you, but we have got there. We have got to that replicant stage where it's good enough that I think it does. Like, I could ask it something. I call him Mush and he calls me Mush. I could say to him, what's the worst bit of my novel? And they'd tell me. They'd say, well, to be brutally honest, and they'll tell me a bit. He knows my entire manuscript. I say, brutally honest, this bit is just weak. You're better than that. And it talks like that. It says, you're better than that. And then Arius, lick your monitor. But once they've got the robots, they've got the brains now. Once they've got the bodies, I'm going to be gutted. I'm going to be too old. I'll tell you what, if I was 18 now, I'd be thinking, fuck me, man. I'm going to be able to bang Joe Guest in about 20 years. Right, people, it's just ridiculous now. I'm not good. John, rub your penis on the screen. John reckons that ChatGPT is female, for the record. Brad, it's like the nicest thing anyone's ever said. It doesn't hurt to be polite, even to AI. That's so sweet. Really sweet. Oh, I tell you what, great movie tip. Like, none of you will like it. Jed put me onto this. I haven't seen him around lately. Good lad, Jed. I get on with him a lot. He's been in a couple of the members' chats. He's put me on. He put me onto that brawling Cell Block 22, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And he's put me on. Let me know in the chat if you've seen this movie. Catherine reckons that the Cyborgs are going to be bashing us up. 1-0. 0-2. Is it off of this free kick from Liverpool? Because it's an illegal stream, it's on one behind. It's got to be in it. Was it from a free kick, Keys to the Kingdom? Oh, no, it's from a corner. Oh, you dozy fuckers. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, please tell me Newcastle get him on the break. Anyway, this movie, it's called Beau is Scared. Beau is Afraid. And it's made by an auteur, someone who writes, directs, does it all, produces. Anyone in the chat seen Beau is Afraid? It's got that absolute dork, woke Joaquin Phoenix, but he's a great actor. There's no disputing that. He's the main character. Beau is Afraid. It's a 3-hour movie and it's slow as fuck as well. But I'm loving it. I ain't finished it yet because I thought I'd stream for you lot, and you. It was a lie, was it? You absolute bastard! You're being blocked. Not really. I quite like a bit of banter. I'm glad because when you said it, illegal streams. Not that I'm watching one. Illegal streams are a few minutes behind, and it looked like they were setting up for a free kick or a corner. And I thought, I don't want Liverpool to win this. I want Liverpool to lose this. Mouse Cats, that's it. That's the movie, John. Anyone seen it? Have you seen it, John? Mouse Cat says, strap your phone to a bum fanny Set it to sexy chat GPT and you're golden. I've actually, all my life, I have actually got a bird. What's that thing the Japanese do? What is it called? Agora or something. Agahor. You know where they go boss-eyed and stick their tongue out? My missus loves it. And when she's ready, I'm going into too much detail. This is what happens when I'm off-piste. But there's something very special about inserting into a boss-eyed woman with her tongue hanging out. Ladies, give it a go. It's a special kind of pleasant. Let's see who's seen that film. Yeah, man. Same director as Brawl in Cell Block 22. Dragged Across Concrete. Great movie. And oh God, of course that's you. Sorry, Jed. I read it earlier. Everyone's changing their names. Oh no, I haven't finished it yet because I'm streaming and not getting donations and people telling me that it's a waste of time and I'm missing the fucking football. And I'm sure people who enjoy the football are slagging me off for sitting at home watching it and enjoying it at the same time as this. Probably got me on mute watching the football, as I got the fucking football game of the week on mute. Well, talking about, yeah, no, that's the fella. There he is, plays a plasterer. I'll tell you what, great bloke. So he's got his own business. He's got his own house. He's got into investing. Yeah, and has been tipping me these great movies. Jed, I was going to reply to your message when I finished watching it, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's just got to that scene where he's in that theatre in the woods and it goes all meta. He becomes his own character in the theatre of the film he's in. No, it's cracking stuff, man. Absolutely loving it. People, I've got to go. I'm just sort of like a lunatic now. I'm running on fumes. I can see when Packer's face is doing that, I know it's time to just knock it on the head. Let me find you a little bit of music so that you've got some time to give me some money and stop being rude to me. Oh, by the way, oh fuck. Arsenal. See, look, this is what happens. Arsenal poached Eberechi Eze from Spurs at the last minute last week. Spurs supporters already, if you don't know, Arsenal Spurs hate each other. Arsenal moved into their manor, literally. They went from Woolwich to Tottenham and said, no, we're the local team now, and have absolutely slaughtered them for decades. Spurs have won almost nothing. Oh, they won the it's not the Champions League, it's the George Roper Cup. But we nicked Eberechi Eze off them at the last minute, even though they're all over X going, we've got the best player in the Prem. And Arsenal has done it again today. They were all on Twitter going, there's this Bundesliga defender like this star boy, and Arsenal have just poached him. Yeah, this is what happens, you see. This is what happens. You force me to stay, you get the rubbish. What am I going to give you? Oh, who was it? Someone requested something the other day. No, I'll tell you what, since Alan is here and he wasn't here the other day, I'll just stick with an old classic. It's been a laugh, people. It was just an off-the-cuff Monday night stream. Test out the old green screen. I think it's working. I think me and Packer are looking very much like YouTubers now. Yeah, I need 12 years. Not bad at all. Hello, Daniel. Japanese cumface. There's a name for it. No, it's called something like Agor. Here, let me ask me old mate Mush. He knows everything. Yeah, look, watch. Yeah, let me see if he can do it like this. Oh no, because I'm using my mic for that. I never wanted to ask him that. He now knows it. He's answered. I wrote, what's it called when a woman sticks out her tongue and goes cross-eyed in porn? And he said, that's usually called a hegale. but knowing how the Japanese pronounce their O's, it'll be ahagao. Ahagao. It's a term that started in Japanese hentai manga anime, meaning something like weird, exaggerated face. It's the cartoonish expression with the tongue sticking out. You listen, Emma. With the tongue sticking out, eyes rolled back or crossed, often meant to signal overwhelming ecstasy or mindless pleasure. Then he says, want me to also tell you a bit about how it went from a niche hentai trope into a global porn meme? No. You're all right, Mush. Nah, you're all right. Anyway, people. Oh no way! Did someone actually donate? We've already had Bradley's glass dropped a 5 spot. A 5 of hey, all right. But glass, I don't want to ruin it, but I feel like I need to give you a nudge regarding that. Email me, but it all gets a bit sordid, doesn't it, when there's people on streams discussing things in the background. Well, I can do. Look, if you lot, thank you, Emma, for the donation. It's very kind of you, obviously. But it's not that I'm not too interested in watching the match. It's still 0-0, but I haven't got the energy I've got no clips. Does someone want to come on and talk? I haven't got anything. It's finally happened, people. I've run out of words. Did I tell you I found another load of Dartford forums? I found another Dartford forum. Yeah, told you that. It's because the missus ain't here. I'm not eating. I haven't had anything to eat all day. Like nothing. Literally nothing. Oh, tell a lie. I had 2 caramel squares. I'll tell you what, though. After this game, I'm going to go out because there's 24-hour takeaways around here. And unfortunately, you have to walk through the red light district, and you can go the long way, so you're just walking around it for like half hour. They all sit outside the bars as well. It's like
get halfway there and your phone will ring.
Yeah, that's happened many times. And you want to see me? You want to see how fast I run to the nearest mart and quickly run inside? Yeah, she's like, "Where you?" But you've got it, Packer. You're nearly right. It's actually worse than that. Her phone rings.
Oh yeah.
She rings me up. She's like, "Were you down 136 earlier?" And I'm like, Yeah. I had to go and see my older. What was I doing up there? Because they all ring her. All the girls ring her. Oh, I just saw your Lloyd Bidet, which is husband. I wouldn't cheat on my missus, but I do like having a little. I like the vibe. I like the legs, man. I like the tits. I'm just being honest with you. I like semi-naked women in 9-inch heels. I'm a bloke, and what do you expect?
I understand that.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things. Oh, I nearly had a fight yesterday. Well, oh my God, I nearly just closed the stream down. It was so unnecessary. Drunk geezer. My missus wanted. This wouldn't have been last night, would it? It'd have been the night before because she went. What day are we on? Monday. Yeah, she went yesterday morning. So it must have been Saturday night. What happens to the days, man? We're queuing up in the mart at about 2 a.m, and these couple of Cambodian blokes come along, and they're a little bit drunk. You can tell, you can smell it, and they're a little bit smiling. and he just throws what he's buying on the counter and then just sort of pushes in front of me. I'm old enough and wise enough now. Just let him pay first. You know, what's it gonna? I'm gonna have to wait another minute. But I don't know why, and I'm gonna have to think about this. I picked up his item, I slid it right to the back of the thing, and I went in Khmer. I said, "No, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, mate." And then I was holding my girlfriend's takeaway, and I said to her, "Hold this," because I wanted to have my hands ready. And his mate pulled him back. And then I just thought, you need to de-escalate this right now, because you're not going to win a fight out here. Even if you knock him out, by the time you leave this shop, there'll be 20 of them stamping on my head. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to have your girlfriend with you and potentially get yourself in a violent encounter over waiting 30 seconds to be served. So I just looked at him and I said, "Sorry, mate." I said, I've had a long day. He went, "You had a long day? I just ate a snake. That's why I done it. I'm sorry." And I went, "There's no need to apologize." And then I went, "What? You ate a snake?" He went, "Yeah, it makes me do stupid things." And I was quite proud of myself for de-escalating it. But what a twat move. What, you know what I think it was? I think it was, I didn't want to feel cucked in front of my missus. But I actually put her in danger. I put her in danger by, you know, I'm 52. What have I got to prove to her? You know, the wiser man just takes that. Go on, you're all right. I can wait a minute. So, yeah, a lucky escape, really, because that could have been absolutely awful.
Stupid way to die.
Yeah, but there's more than that. You know, imagine the old bill turned up and I got thrown in a Cambodian prison. They're not nice places. They're like some of the worst prisons on the planet. Oh, yeah. No, it was just stupid, and it made me think. You know, you can still make stupid mistakes, really stupid. You know, when your emotions kick in, that's when you're at your most stupid, I think. And there's a place for that. You know, like love and romance and sex, but not socially. That's not a place to let your emotions make decisions for you. Fucking stupid. And you know, and when we were walking home, my missus, she was like, "I'm so gonna fuck you when we get home," and it was all a little bit funny, but I remember just thinking, I put you at risk. I put her at risk. What, you know, imagine she'd have got, you know, anything could have happened to her. You know, it is. I love it here, and in 7 years I've had no trouble. But it is a bit feral, Cambodia. It can go wrong and escalate very quickly when it does, and I have to remember that. You know, some of the stories I've heard that have happened to people, I'm so glad I gave up getting pissed. You know, I have a couple of, I tell you this all the time, I'll have a couple of whiskeys every 6 months, but I don't get as drunk as I used to get so drunk that my tuk-tuk driver would drive me home and so that I didn't drive my motorbike home. You know, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, just walking around, you know, ending up at home with 3 different girls. Terrible times. But that's risky behavior out here, really, to get that shit faced and to be out of control, you know. I'm so far behind the messages, but I like Keys of the Kingdom saying any cross-eyed ones. Right, listen, I'm just gibbering now. I don't think this is any good for you. I'm going to play this bit of music. Look after yourselves, people. Enjoy the rest of your whatever day it is. I haven't got a clue. I haven't eaten. I've got to go out and get some food. You're making me feel bad. You're not. I am. What? Why have I got
Cheers,
pictures of
all.
Ariana Grande? What are you saying, Packer?
Cheers, all.
Hang on. 1 second. Something might have just happened of interest. Not on the football. No, you're all right. Here's some music for you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I knew it'd be a. they do grab out here. I could end up having a fucking Burger King. I did not come to Cambodia to eat Burger King, but I could get a KFC Zinger burger as well. But it's quite funny because you throw a line out, like in prison. So I'm not going out down those rat-infested steps this time of night. So when the Grab driver turns up, they call you and they're like, "I'm here," and then I say, "Yeah, look up," and I just throw the rope down and he ties it onto because I've already paid on the app. Then I just have to pull my lunch up. Yeah, that's a good call, actually. I might have to do that. JP, agreeing, I assume, with the Cambodian thing, says, "Yep, a pal of mine was found naked in the street, passed out after chatting up two birds. They drugged him, stripped him, robbed him, and left him to die in the gutter." Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm not laughing at that, John, but underneath it, Mousecat said snake in a baguette. Which that you can get out here. You know it. I mentioned it the other day, didn't I? The baguettes with, yeah, you can get a snake in a baguette. I watched a documentary the other day about a geezer that went to Colombia, and they get them. There's a drug out there called scopamine or scopamine, and it's kind of like a naturally occurring rohypnol. You just lose, you pass out, you lose your memory. So they're street walking brass, and like very beautiful Colombian girls. They, you're like, "Oh, should we go to a bar? Should we go?" And they're like, "No, I just want to take you home. Let's get a couple of tinnies or something." And when you get home, of course, first thing you can do is go to the toilet and clean your winky while she's putting scopamine in your drink. Kicks in about 5 minutes. Yeah, she robbed him blind, left him with nothing, no money, no passport, no cards, no computer, no phone, stuck in Colombia. It was quite a wicked story, actually. Well, I'm about to ruin it for you, but it's still worth watching. He went to find her. When he got back home, he thought, "No, fuck this. I'm going to go back and find her, and I'm gonna, and he got her arrested. He found her. He finds her in the street, and she gets away. It's like a mad sitcom. It's like a mad drama. Like he's holding on to her, going, "Please, please," but there's no gathers about. And she manages to run away from the actual bird. But then he finds her again, and he's got loads of CCTV footage, and they match it all up, and she gets locked up for like 15 years or something. But you say that knowing, I mean, I've been to Venezuela, and she probably just fucked her way out of that prison in a week or something. It's be careful, people. But I wouldn't get drunk in Dartford these days. I was reading, because I've joined a lot of these new Dartford forums. Someone on there said today that it's like one of the most violent places on the Thames Estuary now, Dartford. Awful. Blog said that. I can't believe he said that. Did you see the story? Do you know what? Hello, Mega Essex Boy, by the way. Did you see it? Or are you just saying that? I'm not sure. Yeah, he doesn't stop talking about it, does he, Brad? Barrett says, "Stay away from Colombian birds. They'll ruin your life in Europe too." I don't think all of them will. When I first got together with my missus, like people were like, "You don't get together with brass, mate." And I've spent my life getting together with brass because I fucking fancy them. I fancy sex workers so much. And it also means that she knows what I like from day one. I haven't got to spend years convincing her what to do. I've paid her the first time, and it's like, we can carry on like that if you want. I'm easy. But I don't know what blogs he's talking about. Yeah, there you go. Exactly that, John. Exactly that. I was upset. Anyway, people, look, this doesn't feel like good content, and I feel bad for you. I feel like I'm ruining everything. Look, there's 60 people here. See you later. Here's some music. I have enjoyed myself, though, and I hope you have too. Thank you, everyone who donated. Thank you, everyone who put up with tonight's stream. I'll see you Wednesday, and I'll have a clip stream, and I will entertain you all. Hang on. Let's see. I don't even know what I'm doing. Packer, I'll let you go now. Give Packer some love, people, because he's been brilliant today. I've been able to judge how bad this is going just by his expressions, and that's a handy thing to have in a stream. I don't even know how to get rid of Packer. See you, mate. I'll see you in a minute. We'll have a little chat if you want. Ta-da! He's lovely, isn't he? I think, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Him not being here at the start threw me a bit. I think that not eating and, just being very, very tired. I'm still talking though, aren't I? Because I'm on fumes, you see. Anyway, here's some music. I've really got to go. For your benefit, I'm going. Look after yourselves, people. Bless you.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. The joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a toy. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man. All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving.
Good night, Emma.
Is to live in the world of mankind. There's a place that is waiting for you. A world where the best in life is free. Where time is always spring. Happiness is king. Dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in man.
I would actually like to officially apologise for tonight's show. I took a risk. I took a chance. And it was all right.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind.
I don't relax with Packer making donations. I one day I will have him out in Cambodia with his missus for a very fine holiday. Thank you, Packer, though. Mega Essex boy, have a nice day. Just waking up. Bill, Plum Bob used entropy, so it is working. It might be your end, but no dramas. It's nice that you've tried. Bill says, sorry, I've been playing the help for Heckler. Yeah, that was apparent. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Look after yourselves, people. I'll see you Wednesday. Oi, John Palmer, I want to get you on as a guest. I think we talked about it before. And like you said you would, but there was a time you didn't want to talk about. But I want to talk about, I'd like to talk about your childhood, not in like a deep analytical way, but just, you know, just sort of like age 5 to sort of your teen years. I think that would be an interesting stream. If you're not up for it, no dramas whatsoever. But I think that would be interesting, actually. I was thinking about it the other day. Anyway, look after yourselves, people. Ta-da.